Okay, our discussion today is about how to resize the image.
Right.
Now, to resize the image, you were saying that you go to
Big monkey.
Big Monkey. So
BIC.
BIC
Sorry. BIC.
PIC
Monkey.
MOKEY. Okay. So free photos editor, graphics design maker. So this is a feature pricing. Let's take a look at the features. Easily create image that attracts eyeballs, get results, photo editing, design. This is good. But I think this one it requires the human to actually
Yeah.
scan this.
Interact with the picture.
Yeah.
Specify the size and all that.
Yeah, specify the size and all that. Right?
One by one.
One by one. Yeah. But the problem that we face now is that for Cell Lab, they will be uploading one image,
Yes.
and then they will need to resize it to multiple images. But the raw image that they upload
It's quite huge.
is quite huge, and some of them may be in a variety of resolutions.
Yeah.
Some may be very super high resolution, some may be low resolution.
Yeah.
So of course I believe they are first of all, I think let us give a high level picture diagram. Okay, so we have a human here. Oops. We have we have a human here. Okay, so this human will upload the images into the e-commerce website. So we have an e-commerce website here. Okay, this is e-com website. So the moment the user upload the image into the e-commerce website, obviously the e-commerce website will call the API. We'll call the API here, and obviously the API will store this into the S3. Of course, it will also have a record in the database, RDS database. So this record in the RDS database will have a reference actually pointing to the S3. Correct.
Yeah.
So what happened is that we need to consider a few scenarios. That means I would consider the life cycle of this image is like life cycle of the image. Life cycle. First we have all the process lah, the workflow.
Right.
Okay, so I have a raw image. After I have the raw image, the next step is I need to resize into how many. Images, and then with what resolution.
Okay.
So the thing is that what I understand is that different marketplace, different e-commerce will have different requirement on the image size.
Right.
And sometimes when the user, of course this is more advanced, let's just say when the user they upload image maybe the background is white color, so the product is somewhere around here. This is the product, is at the side. We want it to be able to actually automatically trim the image to here, so that I can maintain a high resolution of the image. I mean, cropping it correctly. Right. So when you talk about the automatic resizing of the image, that part is if we do for only 10 to 20 products, I think it can still be done manually. But if we are talking about companies like Cell Lab, it's easy, 20 products. But if we are talking about companies like Sengheng, they have like a few thousand, 10 to 20,000 products. Then this becomes a nightmare, which requires automation.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So what happened is that if you search Google, there are many different solutions. Serverless handling image, serverless image resize on the fly. There are many examples that we can actually copy. Crash course on serverless AWS image resize. Maybe even the source code is readily available. In the open source or something like that, the project structure, Docker compose, how to actually Bitbucket, serverless, YML, create a secret file, all the detailed instruction is given, right? So I won't go through this detail, but I will discuss about the high level considerations that we have and given our situation. Now, if you look at this user, this could be the user that actually make a call to a API gateway that actually trigger Lambda service. Of course, our user currently in our situation is Angular application actually making the API call. Now, in our case, if you look at our situation, if we want to have a Lambda is actually not with the API, because for the API, we are actually using Elastic Beanstalk here. Elastic Beanstalk.
Okay.
Of course, whatever that we do in Lambda, we can actually also whatever we do in the API, we can also do it in the Elastic Beanstalk. But what we really want to do is to do this in a Lambda, which is a separate unit. Maybe we can have something like API-lambda .account.com slash v1 or something like that slash v1 slash services image resizing.
Okay.
It could be like that, but we have to be careful because we need to know whether this server resizing is just a service that it provides something else to call and return.
Right.
Because if we are just providing a service, then actually the Angular can call this service to do the resizing and whatever, and then after it done the resizing, then it will actually call the API one more time to save the images. Now in this situation, the control is at the Angular application.
Which images to display where?
Yeah, they want to display where, that one is up to them, which is good also.
Okay.
But there's another way of doing it, is that the Angular this side can actually call the API, and then the API save into the Lambda, and then and the S3, and then we have we write also Lambda, but this Lambda is a scheduler that actually run on a regular basis, on an hourly basis, to take this image and then write it to the save it as into another S3 file, and then update the database that the link is something, and then update the shopping cart and all that stuff. Now this way is also achievable, but the more heavy work is done at the back end. And when there's more heavy work is done at the back end, it also means that customization is more difficult. The other way that first way that we write here, the green colors, the blue color, green color side. Okay, this green color.
Yeah.
This part is actually we are just building a service. Yes, we are going through a API gateway, which we can actually still authenticate. That means that only valid user that belongs to our AWS Cognito pool, because here we have we are using AWS Cognito.
Okay.
So regardless of whether they call our API, which we will authenticate against the AWS Cognito to be our valid user, then they can call the API.
Yeah.
If we use the Lambda as a services, that means that these Lambda services will not have access to the database. There's no database access.
Okay. Which is fine, I think, for certain purposes.
Yeah. And if this is the case, this is the case, it depends. I don't know. This one is, you said that the pricing is what is the pricing? Let's say
Pricing.
okay. If you look at this pricing, it's $8. 1 GB of hub storage, export files as JPG. Okay, but does it have like API or something like that? If they have API, that would be good. Photo editor. Okay, this one is more for end user.
Yeah.
This method is when we are actually taking full control and doing everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is also another one that actually we are taking full control of it. Serverless image handler, manipulate images understand the security requirements appropriate. Okay, so the client send the image and then go to API gateway, go to Lambda, go to S3. It's the same. Okay, so you can even deploy the solution by just clicking without any coding. Just deploy the solution. There's already a template available for this. So yeah, just click launch the stack and
Okay.
so this is one way of doing it. We can ask Ariadne to launch a stack. Of course, the very deep technical details and understanding of the security, or you launch it to which account, and then how the one I can ask Ariadne to do, no problem.
Okay.
But at the same time, this is one method. The other method is if we want to have more intelligent, let's say, API for image resizing. Oh, there are so many resize API, right? Image resizing,
Yeah.
CDN. Okay, this is resize image on the fly by simply changing the URL. Okay, so
Yeah, this is good too.
this one is this is storage. Is there API integration? Okay, this one is image transformation. Okay, actually, now that I look at this, there are actually a few ideas that I have because if we go back to the Jamboard, when we are looking at the e-commerce, actually some images are supposed to be no need permission required to view, because when you view a website, it should be public.
For e-commerce, most of them are public anyway. Most of the images.
So for e-commerce, most of them are public. So what I was thinking is that these services, when we store the image, one way is we store multiple versions and copies of it,
Okay.
of different size. That's one way of doing it. The other way is that we store one copy, but
Right.
the versions of it are actually generated dynamically on the fly.
Yeah.
There is pros and cons, because it seems that but anyway, let's go back to this image resize. Actually, you can include it as one of the feature and target that we look at in phase in maybe April or May or something like that.
Right.
For cell lab purpose, I believe that right now is for the resizing, it may be fastest if because they only have how many images?
30, less than 30.
Okay, less than 30. Then we can use one of those graphic editing software, Adobe Photoshop or something like that, just to do it for this 30 and get it out.
Okay.
But for the to do the proper image resizing thing, I think we will need to sit down and consider all kind of scenarios.
Right.
Actually, Seng Heng also need this.
Okay.
So if let's say after the cell lab project you're done already, please sit with me. Then we have a discussion
Okay.
and see how we can do this part and sell it to Seng Heng.
Right.
Okay, stop recording. Anything else we need to discuss on this?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.